Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors.
Income is the outcome that matters most in retirement. Let me repeat that. Income is the outcome that matters most in retirement.
Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I hate technology so much.
Me too.
Me 3.
It's just, you would think we're all just grown adults. Listen, we're not like 70 or 80. You'd think we'd be able to figure out technology, but we have just spent the past hour just trying to hook
46 minutes.
You're not wrong 46. On that one either.
But who's counting, Randy? Who's counting?
Hey, Peggy. Hey, Randy. How are you?
Hi. We're doing great. How are you?
We would still be counting if we left it up to Peggy.
Just keep pushing buttons. Something's good. Here's the most important part. You're here. I'm here. We're here together. How are y'all doing?
We're doing
We're
great.
all in the yellow submarine.
How was France?
France was absolutely off the charts amazing.
Yeah.
Did not want to come back.
Well,
wine was good. Food was good. Weather was good.
Yeah.
We got very lucky. It's supposed to be the rainy season, and we were sunny and 70 for 14, 15 days, Rand. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
How long does it take you to I don't want to say like dry out, because I know like y'all didn't you didn't go to Panama City Beach or the Jersey Shore, but like how long did it take you to recover from a trip like that?
I'm still recovering from the jet lag, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's a 6-hour time difference, but we were gone for so many days. And
she's a wino anyway.
And,
I'm
having a real hard time with the sleep schedule.
So she's,
I don't know, if
she sobers up, it's like for 4 hours.
Oh my God, that's serious. No, that's not true at all. But no, we did drink ourselves some good wine. We now became white wine drinkers as opposed to red drinkers.
Oh,
See?
really? I feel like red.
Yeah, I mean, we still like red, but I mean, yeah. And we did some good food there too. We hit some Michelin star restaurants in Paris.
Man. We even rode a bike.
Oh yeah, we rode a bike drinking. Now, I don't know how that was going. Right, Rance?
We didn't drink that much.
No, we had some sips, but I was like, I don't know, a couple more sips. I don't know if I'm getting back on that bike.
It ain't brown liquor.
Was it one of those bikes that had like 3 wheels, 2 big wheels on the back?
No, you know what the greatest thing was? No, thank God, Randy. It was an electric bike. So when we were going up hills, all you do is hit the button.
It was the fat man, lazy man bike.
Oh, I was
awesome.
I was grateful for that.
You only had
bike.
to pedal once, and it just took you like 4 miles.
Then drinking wine on an electric bike, totally acceptable. Yes. Good on you.
And we made it through. I don't know how we did, but we made it through.
No one fell.
And you can tell that, listen, here's a big shock. I'm a big redneck box wine drinker. All right. So if you put you can tell a really good glass of wine, and you had a couple of really good glasses of wine out there. Like you can really tell the difference from the good stuff, right?
Yeah. Yes, big time. Yeah, we toured a lot of wineries.
Yeah, no $2 chuck.
Yeah, no, there was no boxes of wine anywhere near us. It was the rant.
Come on down to North Georgia. I'll take you a couple of vineyards you'll love. It's called Bucky's.
Yeah.
Because you got the distillery in your backyard.
I love it.
It's called, great. Listen, we pull the plastic bag out, put a straw in it. That's how we roll. All right, listen, before you went to France, and we're going to get to all this next week because we got some good stuff to get to here this week on the Real Retirees of New Jersey. Get all the information here in the show notes. Before we went to France, go ahead and tell the people, where did we have the opportunity to hang out?
Oh, my God. I was in Glory Land.
I got dragged.
I was in Mar-a-Lago, Florida. It was absolutely off the charts. One of the best experiences in my whole entire life.
The resort.
It was like Peggy going to church.
Yes, it was. I went to church.
It really was. It was like Peggy's version of Disneyland.
It was better than Disneyland, actually.
And the gift shop was more expensive than Disneyland,
The gift shop was extreme. You know what? Speaking of that,
shit out of that towel.
The towel.
I want my refund.
I bought a $75 towel. Yes, folks, I did buy that towel because we collect towels.
Can't wipe your ass with it.
It's the thinnest towel.
It's like toilet paper.
I was really disappointed in the Trump towel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but they don't expect you to use it. You just buy it to say you bought it. Like, do you really think you're going to use it out on the beach?
I was not on the beach. You know where I was using that? Marco is.
Sorry, hot tubs.
At the hot tub.
Sorry.
I even got a towel hanger for that Trump towel, okay, out by that hot tub.
I got to lose another 100 pounds so it fits around me.
You wash it once and it becomes a dish rag.
Exactly.
All right, so
disappointing.
We had the opportunity to hang out in Mar-a-Lago, and it was truly one of the most bucket list couple of days. We went to somewhere that probably 1% of the world has been to.
Goes to, right.
But we got the chance to meet whom?
Donald Trump Jr.
And he was really cool.
He was not always really cool. I was shocked by a few things. He was extremely funny, right? He was very funny, very charismatic, right? And I also thought I couldn't believe how much taller he was than what I thought he was. Like, he's definitely, I thought he was like a shorter kind of guy, and he's not. And then I did say, don't be upset, Randy. I didn't find him too attractive, but when I was there, I was like, wow, he's kind of like a good looking guy, you know?
Don't get upset.
I checked everything out on him, as I always do at these things. Like, he had polo socks on. Okay. He had beautiful dress shirt with his initials on the cuffs, which I loved. He looked stunning. Nice suit, the whole entire thing. I liked, it was kind of like not really shaven, a little like, he looked, a little stubble.
You didn't get down to his drawers?
I didn't know what drawers he had on. I didn't get that far.
Secret Service was everywhere. So.
Yeah, they were there. They would have had me on the corner there. I was really shocked by a few things. I thought he was just so hilarious. He was great. I loved it. Yeah.
So that's just a preview, because starting next week and over the next couple of weeks, we're going to let you hear some of the conversation pieces from our sit down with Donald Trump Jr. He talks about, is the American dream still alive? He talks about the assassination attempt on his father and where he was that day. He has some advice to retirees, the advice that he received from his dad. All of these clips, we'll get to him here in the next couple of weeks. But first thing I want to get to is we have kind of taken a sample size, a deep dive into some of the adults in the community and what they're really looking for when it comes to their retirement. And some of this was surprising. And I'm kind of throwing these at you just to get your overall thoughts and opinions. There is a lot of adults, Peggy, Randy, that say, hey, I've done well. I've got a good savings, a solid 401k, but I never want to retire. Do you think that's because they're worried about the economy and they're worried about running out of the income they've worked so hard for? Or do you think it's because they just love working? What do you find?
We find both. It was funny because when we were talking about this topic, it's amazing. And it's even the amount of money could be high or it could be low. Like, we have clients who, are millionaires and they just love to work, right? It's just how they were brought up. It's what they know to do. It's how their success is, Then we also have clients too who do the daily grind somewhere, but they've been doing it for 50 years, 40 years. And it's just a habit. I mean, we just had a nice, over Christmas, we had a nice client event where we see all of our clients, which sometimes we don't see them based on, if they have annuities with us.
Christmas was a while ago.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, but we were asking one of the gentlemen there, I'm like, you're still not retired? He's like, no, I love doing what I love to do. I love getting up, and I've been doing this for 40 years, and I'm going to keep doing it until I can't. That's what he said.
Yeah, but you got to understand, it provides purpose. It provides a routine. It provides identity. Right. And look, I mean, when if you would take 10, you're talking about a male.
Right.
If you take 10 males and put them in a room that are over age 65, every one of them hate change.
Yeah. Right. It's
every
true.
one of them.
Even my own dad. I always talk about this. My own dad, he was a police officer, started at 18 years old. He was the first cadet of his police department. Right. He always said that was his purpose in life. He had his kids, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what mattered. Cigarettes and a friggin' cup of coffee.
But what mattered to him was going to that police station every day, like he did since he was 18 years old. He always said, "I never want to retire." Sure enough, they kind of pushed him out the door. He retired, and this was his fear. This was his fear. His fear was, I'm afraid something's going to happen if I retire. Every time I hear about people retiring, something's going to happen to them. A month after he retired, he fell in a parking lot, had a stroke, and was never right since. Passed away a few years later. Yeah. So what his thought was correct. He always thought something was going to happen. But back to it was just, he loved doing it because that was his purpose that he knew every day since he was 18 years old. And it was he would tell me it was like his safe place. He knew it. He loved it. It's what he enjoyed doing.
There's also social interaction.
And that too, yes. Yeah, we love the town. We love the people. Yeah.
Other than that, he was sitting on the chair watching the Yankees.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Right? You didn't say it, but is there some people that are like, listen, I've been married for 45 years and, seeing my wife after the 9 to 5 and on the weekends. Now I got to see my husband on the weekends as well and 7 days a week. That seems to be a lot. So maybe there's a reason.
Think about that. I mean, the number one divorce rate in America is what? Silver divorce, right?
Gray divorce.
Gray divorce.
Gray divorce.
It's the gray divorce, man. Gray divorce. It's the gray divorce.
They're silverbacks.
No, they're not silverbacks. It's gray. We're getting a little gray.
Silverbacks. Son of a bitches.
It's a little gray. No, that's the whole thing. They finally, after they have retired, they're like, I don't think I can look at you anymore.
I'm done.
I don't want to look at you anymore.
We went to a comedy show.
Like the COVID breakup.
No, we went to a comedy show, and the lady, Randy thought I was laughing a little too hard at this. Yeah. She said, now that we've retired, I used to look at him when we were young. He would come down the stairs, and I'd be like, oh, look at him. There he is, coming down the stairs. She's like, now that we're retired and been together for 40 years, I look and go, oh, God, there he is. He's still breathing. Busted out laughing. And Randy goes,
I get that every morning.
Randy goes, you laughed a little too hard at that one. but that's what you hear, right?
Peggy screaming at her going, he ain't retired, but I say the same thing. You slay queen.
No, but I laughed so hard. I laughed out of like 70 people. I think I laughed the hardest at anyone there. Rand goes, that's a little too hard of a laugh. That's a little too much.
A little too close to home on that
hit
one.
Home.
Yeah, it hit home.
It was like salt in the wound.
But what percentage of the families you serve, what percentage do you find for each one of people that say, I don't want to retire because of the economy, or I don't want to retire because I just love working? What do you find the most common?
Not many, because we always get the people who say they want to retire.
Yeah.
But when we say, okay, let's retire, they say, no,
not yet. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'm going to do it yet.
Right. So it's like the goal eventually is to retire. Right. But when you actually say, okay, what's the end date? When Saturday and Sunday forever?
Right.
Yeah.
They just can't push the button. And I think it comes down to a lot of things, like you mentioned, Mark, is there's a fear factor, right? Mm-hmm. There's a fear factor of they don't know what the unknown is. Yep. And once they actually cut ties with their employer, it's, I can't go back, right? I'm done. I'm finished.
Well, even your dad is a good example of somebody who was at like AT&T, for his whole basic career, right? Mm-hmm. And he too never wanted to retire, but then they kind of they gave him a nice offer, and then he kind of had to. But he always said too, it was about the purpose of he was very successful there, and once you don't have that anymore, then it's like an identity crisis. So now who am I, right? Afterwards, it's who am I for that, right?
I also think it depends on what you do and how you do it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we come across a lot of people who are like in blue collar jobs that work their ass off their whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just digging ditches or construction workers. I'm talking about police officers,
managers,
first responders.
Right. Yeah, right.
And they work their tail off. They can't wait to retire.
Right.
Right. And when they do retire, they can't stay busy enough. They always got something else to do. Right. Yeah. They can't sit still.
Yeah.
Other people that we find are in more white collar jobs that are, they work their tail off too, and they've acquired a number of different assets, different than maybe the basic blue collar financial clients that we have, and they don't want to do anything, right? They want to sit around and watch the grass grow, or they want to travel, or they want to hang out with the rest of their family, which they think they've missed throughout the course of their life.
We hear that a lot too.
We hear that a lot. Yeah. Trying to catch up on lost time.
Exactly. Yep.
So everybody, we always say this: everybody's situation is entirely different. But we're all human, right? We all have that same concept. We have this fear and greed response to everything that goes on. And it's new. Anything that's new is fearful.
Yeah.
Until you cross the barrier, you have to get used to it again. You have to create a new habit.
Yeah, once you make the change,
a new regime. You got to get a new purpose. You got to get a new schedule, whatever it may be.
Right. And
then it starts to work into it. And what I would find miraculous is shortly thereafter, we always ask people, do you miss working? And what's their answer?
No. They're having a good time doing their things that they want to enjoy and do, right? Yeah, like you said, it's just about that one change. Making the change, I think, is hardest for anybody. Going, oh my God, I did this thing my whole entire life. Mm-hmm. And now I'm not doing it anymore.
I think about it all the time. I mean, if we said, I want to retire tomorrow, Peggy would retire.
I would.
I don't want to retire. I love what I do.
Yeah, he loves doing it.
Will I come to work 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 6 days a week? No, I won't. But, maybe I'll come to work, 4.5.
I've had 2 jobs for 17 years. I like working. Like, I don't think I'll ever. As long as you do something you love. Like, the daily 9 to 5 grind. Hell no. Right. But if I can do something fun, make a little supplemental income. All right. So I want to get to another one. Some observations from the community, and we talked about it here on the Real Retirees of New Jersey. That retirement red zone, 5 years out, maybe a couple of years into your retirement. But we found that a lot of adults are expanding that red zone to 10, maybe even 12 years before their desired retirement date. So do you find that more people are getting started early because there is more technology, there is more information? Boomers didn't have the internet. Or it goes back to the original question. Do you find that people are expanding the red zone because they're worried about having enough money in retirement?
No, I think that's also like a 50-50 shot at it. It's
I
right. You agree? Yeah. I mean, we have some people who we've had clients come in before and go, God, I wish I would have seen you guys 10 years ago. Right. And to help them with the preparation for retirement, right. That we'll hear that side of the story.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, we do have people who do, they have had a plan and all that good stuff. So, 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 7 years ago, they did have their plan ready for action for when they did retire. So I don't know. I find it like a 50-50 on that.
I think you've got the proactive group and the reactive group.
Yeah.
You've got the procrastinator, and then you got the people. I mean, I brought this up just last night. We had a workshop, and I said, for the most part, most people would rather go to a dentist or a proctologist instead of going to a financial advisor or sitting down and talking about their finances.
It's so true.
And the reason that is because people don't want to know the truth, right? You don't want to know how much in credit card debt do you have?
Yeah.
How many more years do you have on your mortgage? How much do you really have in your retirement account?
Right. Are you ready? Do you have enough? Have you saved enough?
99% of the time, even with people who have assets or people who don't have assets, everybody thinks that they're behind the 8 ball.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? They never have enough. There's never enough. So it's always, can I retire? Should I retire? Or some people just like stick their head in the sand like an ostrich and they just say, you know what? They ignore it.
Yeah.
Right? So red zone's interesting because red zone means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and it's how it's perceived, right? A red zone could be more like a loading ramp or an off ramp, an exit ramp, ready to get to retirement, right? It could be 3 to 5 years, 5 to 7 years. You mentioned just a few minutes ago, you extended it 8 to 10 sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
I think anybody that's doing an 8 to 10 year approach to retirement, I mean, it's a little long.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, also,
getting your ducks in order and understanding how you can accumulate assets during that period of time, reducing your debt over time, having some type of a game plan, that's not a big deal. That's a smart move, but it's such a moving target. It's ridiculous. It's like saying, I'm going to go on vacation 6 months from now. I'm going to start looking at the weather where I'm going today.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I'm not packing today, right? I'm going to pack a few days. I'm going to pack a few days before that.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to what your planning is, or what you're more inclined to look at in a red zone scenario is, what is the risk associated with the next 3 to 5 years? What's the next risk associated within the 5 to 7 year window, right?
Yep.
And if we look at, and let's just take that into consideration right now, which I think that's extremely important, because if there's anybody looking to retire potentially within the next 3 to 5 years, markets today are at literally all-time highs again, right? I mean, almost every day we're hitting a new high.
Yes.
Yep. So what that basically means is, even if you were in the dark, in a cave someplace, and you had retirement money that was just still invested in the market, it's probably a lot larger than it was over the past number of months, over the past number of years. And you didn't even do anything. All you were is involved, right? But if you just stay involved blindly and you just buy and hold into your red zone, what happens if we get a repeat of 1998, 1999, 2000.
Your mistakes are going to be very costly is what's going to happen.
You're going to learn a new phrase real quick after you retire, or you're really going to change your plans, right? Because it's going to be, hey, welcome to Walmart. How may I help you?
Yeah.
Because you retired, you lost your job, and now you need a new one because you lost half of your retirement funds, right? Now, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say that the crystal ball is telling everybody that we're going to go through a down cycle, but there's only 2 seasons in the entire market. There's up and down, right? There's bull and bear.
Yeah.
So that's all that happens. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. There's no in between. And you can say, well, you can get a little choppy market sideways. That's true, but we're either going to be choppy down or choppy up, right? And right now, if we're hitting all-time highs, the only thing that we can really look forward to from a risk standpoint is a what? A bubble, a burst. And what we don't want is a bubble burst right before you're ready to retire. So should you be fully invested for all reasons and all seasons while you're walking into a red zone scenario, looking at should I or could I retire in the next number of years?
Yeah.
Maybe you need to look at your accounts and reallocate them, rebalance them, maybe diversify them even further out. And quite frankly, start looking at what are those positions within your portfolio that's really going to afford you a lifetime worth of income.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which assets can't you live without?
And I think the 40s and 50s are a prime time to have a financial advisor to help you along with those things.
Well, 40s and 50s.
Right?
If you're retiring in your 40s and 50s, God bless you.
Well, no,
But
we're
you're
not saying
accumulating
retirement. We're
assets.
talking about the zone, 5 to 7 years before retirement. So it's a perfect time to get a financial planner to help you through those things.
True.
Right?
I think you should have a financial planner all the time.
Yes, me too. I agree.
Well, okay,
that is
that is a good question though, Randy. Is there an age where it's too young? Because we always say, hey, look, if you're already retired, then it might be too late for some of these, opportunities. Right. But is there a time where it's too young to get started?
Well, I mean, there's essentially three phases in financial life, right? There's the accumulation phase, right? There's the growth phase, right? And then there's the distribution phase.
Protect, yeah.
So, if you look at it from a standpoint of you finally got out of your parents' house, or you went to college, or you learned a trade, and now you're on your own and you're starting to earn some money, you're accumulating assets, you're starting to build some debt, you're starting to build potentially a family, maybe even building some assets in the, American dream, building a home. You start to go through a phase where the money that's coming in the door is essentially going right back out, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you're saving a few bucks, but that's more like an accumulation of assets when you're first starting out. Then you get to a window where you've kind of had some children, you started to pay off a mortgage, maybe you moved once or twice, you got a new job, you're kind of stable. Now you're starting to accumulate some longer term assets, and you're starting to think, do I need to put these rugrats through school? Do I need to pay off my home? And then what are you looking for? Retirement's so far down the road when you're in your 20s and 30s. Unless you hit the lottery, it makes no sense to even think about retirement. Although, if you've got 401k and you start early,
that's the best advice.
That's the best advice I can give everybody.
Start putting away as much as you possibly can.
But you don't necessarily need a financial advisor at age 20.
No, you do not. Definitely
right?
no.
Maybe even at age 30, maybe you could start to talk about financial advising. But all that really is someone who knows a little bit more than they do, that you put your ducks in order.
So we have a lot of clients who are older, but we definitely love to help their kids. They'll always say, hey, you think you can help little Johnny? He's starting a new account, or hey, he's just starting to do his 401k. Could you help him out with that? And we love to do that for our clients, get the youngins started.
Yeah, but I mean, take this with a grain of salt. I mean, you can't get blood out of a rock.
No, I'm not saying that. When I say help,
not to joke around about it, but we do have a couple people that will walk through the door and say, I have $5,000, $7,000. What should I do?
Yeah.
I mean,
not much you can do with that.
No,
there's not a lot. There's not a lot. I'm sorry. There's not a lot. Even if you say, hey, I've got $50,000. So although, thank God you got $50,000, and believe me, that $50,000 from a standpoint of
that's your savings,
security or importance is mammoth in that scenario.
Absolutely.
Versus someone who has $3 million, right? Because, $3 million is more discretionary money versus $50,000, which is literally like life savings.
Right.
Right. To some degree. But even at that, I mean, if someone walks through the door and says, hey, I need to create income with $50,000, what do you do? There's really not a lot that you can do. We will use the right tool for the job and say, okay, we can turn that $50,000 into a lifetime income. Or you can, put it in a coffee can and take it out once in a while when you need it, but it needs to be safe, right? So it gets back down to that red zone scenario that we just spoke about is, when things are too hot and heavy, you got to worry about the downside, not so much the upside.
Right.
But again, when it comes down to financial advising or financial planning for people, it's, you really have to take into consideration putting everybody's ducks in order. And when they have a lot more assets, it's a lot easier to say, okay, you have this, let's divide this up into 3 different buckets. You have that, let's make sure that we protect your whole scheme with this.
Yeah.
So there's a protectionary measure, there's actually a decrease in risk measure, there's a growth measure to it. So there's a lot of things that are on there. And the reason I'll come up with a quick number for you here, I'll give you an example. If I had $1 million portfolio and I'm in a red zone, and next thing I know, I have a beautiful accumulation over a period of time, and I gained 40% over that period of time, my $1 million would turn into $1.4 million. If the next down cycle, I got a basic down market, basic bear market, 30% loss. So again, I went up 40%, but I went down 30%. Most people would stay in that scenario just off the cuff. Hey, I got some extra money. You don't. Your 1.4 million would turn into $980,000 at the end of that 30% reduction. So throughout that entire window, let's say it took 9 years to accumulate a 40% rate of return, and it took 18 months to lose it. You just wasted 10 years of your life.
Right.
So that could be a 10-year red zone disappeared overnight because you were thinking that you had recency bias. And what that means is whatever the most recent thing that just happened to you, you think it's going to continue. So if the last 8 years, the market continued to go up, you're going to think, well, I'm heading into retirement. Things are going to be hunky-dory. It's going to keep going. Well, guess what? That's not the way things work.
Right.
That's why you need to actually have financial planning.
Right.
And you need to take things into consideration like that red zone. And I would have to tell you, I think everybody's red zone is different.
Yeah. Well, if you want a partner to help, it's a great thing to do is get a financial planner. Give us a call, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing, my other big takeaway is a couple of seconds ago that Peggy called our kids and our grandkids the youngins. So,
yeah. the youngins.
She's not even from the South.
The youngins need a little bit of help. I think that's a good place to hit pause here this week for the Real Retirees of New Jersey. A lot of good information about for those adults who may have the money, but they never want to retire. Maybe they're worried about the economy, or maybe they just love working, or maybe they just don't want to be at home on the weekends and all week long as well. And how about that red zone? What is your red zone? Everybody's a little bit different. Get all the information. You can find it here in the show notes. How to get connected, get up with the team at Artemis Wealth Advisors and Liberty Financial Group. Find all that information here in the show notes. But for the entire team, thanks so much for streaming. This has been the Real Retirees of New Jersey with Peggy and Randy Fisher.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189-42003 and 570-5833.